That's the angle. Joining me now is Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt and former senior advisor to President Trump, Stephen Miller. Senator, the American people have been clued in on what's really happening here. They have had the bulk of this bill, the key provisions. They've had this stuff finalized for weeks and weeks and weeks. But now they're going to release it on Sunday, it looks like, and rush the vote on Wednesday? Really?
Oh, it's a total joke. And if you think about this, Chuck Schumer has announced we're going to be voting on this next week for a bill that no one's seen, that's been negotiated with a president who could close the border right now but chooses not to, and a Secretary of Homeland Security that's about to be impeached. Okay, so what are they really hiding? It kind of reminds me of that line in The First Vacation where Eugene Levy's the used car salesman. He's talking to Chevy Chase, and he pulls up the family truckster and says, "You think you hate it now? Wait till you drive it." So I can only imagine. But what we do know is very concerning. Joe Biden has all the tools they need right now. But think about that. But this is emblematic of Chuck Schumer, the way he does it, to cram this thing last moment to sort of come down from, like Moses with the 10 Commandments. Nobody can amend it. Nobody has time to review it. It's certainly not going to a committee.
No.
We should spend weeks talking about this amending of it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's ridiculous.
This affects the entire future, the culture, the economy of the United States of America. But we have congressmen like Republican Dan Crenshaw slamming Republicans for not just jumping on board with the border bill. Watch this.
The height of stupidity is having a strong opinion on something you know nothing about. I'm extremely disappointed in the very strange maneuvering by many on the right to torpedo a potential border reform bill. If we have a bill that, on net, significantly decreases illegal immigration, and we sabotage that, that is inconsistent with what we would do. People will make up whatever reasons they want to. There's a number of them, I'm sure. But it would be a pretty unacceptable dereliction of your duty.
Stephen Miller, tough words from Crenshaw. A dereliction of duty. Very indignant he is. What does he get wrong here?
The dereliction of duty is not going to Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, Joe Biden, and by the way, all the Democrats up for re-election this year, like John Tester and Sherrod Brown, and saying, here is our offer: 0 illegal immigrants. Why don't you stand up before the American people and say why the number should be 2 million or 3 million or whatever is authorized in this bill? Have a national debate about the number 0, 0.0. That's the correct number of illegal immigrants. We're talking about an administration that right now allowed illegal aliens to beat cops and go free. They could have sent with one phone call ICE officers to that courthouse, arrested those illegals, and shipped them back home. We are talking about a Democrat Party that just in the last 48 hours voted against Republican bills in the House to deport illegal immigrants with DUI convictions and who have committed Social Security fraud and identity theft. The Democratic Party is committed to open borders, and it's time for Republicans to stop being afraid, stop hiding, stop cowering, and to demand a great national public referendum on whether or not Joe Biden should be allowed to release any deportable alien into this country at all. And I dare John Tester to explain to his voters why he thinks we should have 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 10 million illegal aliens added to this country by Joe Biden or anyone else for that matter, Laura.
Senator, what's ultimately going to happen here with this?
Well, here's what can happen next week when Chuck Schumer tries to ram this down everybody's throat. It takes 41 Republicans in the Senate to stand up and say, we're not going to do this. We're not going to go along with this. We're not going to allow you to do this. This is the stuff that people hate about Washington. We're going to side with the American people. We're going to side with the Republican House. We're not going to side with Chuck Schumer. We're not going to side with Joe Biden. We're actually going to stand up for the American people. We're going to stand up for the sovereignty of our own borders. And that's what we need to do next week.
41. Will we have those numbers? We should, but it's going to be tough given that leadership. Senator Stephen, thank you so much. All right, take the load off, Fannie, as in Willis, as in the Fulton County DA going after Trump. Well,